Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from the usual videos. I actually I put a link, well, not a link, but I put a poll up on LinkedIn to do this video. About 92% of you out of 25 said that you wanted to see this video. And it's basically talking about the Glassdoor Anonymous Stories that we have here, like the Burnout Bowl, and giving my feedback and going through these stories. So this is why we're here. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this video and see if you guys like it. If you guys like this kind of content, I will keep it up. So let's see. Let's just put a number on this just to make it real. If this video gets like, I don't know, since I'm starting out on YouTube's, let's just say 50 likes by next week, then I will continue making more Glassdoor Burnout stories and other anonymous stories on Glassdoor and maybe even Reddit if I come across that. So without further ado, let's press start on this, honestly. And just to kind of give you some background on this, Glassdoor also has other things as well. Of course, jobs. Glassdoor is a job board, it has jobs on it, but it also has companies and salaries. So you can kind of get an understanding of if you're getting paid correctly in your specific industry and also area. And plus, of course, you could research the company that you apply to and are probably currently in. And honestly, I would advise everyone to do that when you're on the job hunt because you'll never know. You know, it could be a red flag that's just plain view and you're not looking there. So use Glassdoor. It's really awesome. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. So I just like having extra features while on the job hunt. So let's get into this bowl, which is not a bowl per se. It's more of a community section where people could post stuff in. And this one has about almost 5K members, which is pretty good. So let's see what's going on in the Burnout Bowl. See what people saying. Okay. Oof. 1 week into my sixth busy season. This sucks. My goodness. I'm on my eighth and in full busy season hours again. I need another break, preferably one that isn't shared with the holidays, so it can be a real break, not a busy break packed with fun activities. I hear that. I hear that. It's like having your birthday around Christmas. You get the same presents and sometimes you don't get more because Christmas is like the same day. It, I know a few friends that's like that, and it sucks. Oh, ooh, what's this one? I'm really getting tired of having to ask my supervisor every caps too, so you know they're angry every time we meet and have a scheduled check-in meeting. Hey, I'm just checking in with you to see if we're meeting today because it's ooh, always something with her whenever we are scheduled to meet. She either is like over 20 minutes late or just doesn't show up to the meeting and does not say anything to me like WTF. Just because you are supervisors doesn't mean you could disrespect my time like that. How do you even handle someone so toxic? This is like point out red flags for me. Like you're a supervisor, you're supposed to set the tone, right? You're the person that have to set the tone for the team and basically lay the foundation for the team, and the way how you act is going to be how your peers will see you and kind of distinguish what works and what doesn't work when it comes to, you know, doing the daily. So this person, this when I mean person, this supervisor, she's not showing a good example, man. She's not being a good leader. Let's see what some people are saying about this. Art director number one, very unprofessional behavior. I agree. Your time matters like hers. Hold her accountable, but take the high road about it. Say how you appreciate how busy she is and respect the time she set aside for your meeting with her, and that you're seeing the time is a problem for her. Ask her if another time slot or day works better. Maybe the supervisor can learn from you. That's good, because it's good. Supervisors can learn from their peers and vice versa kind of thing. If it doesn't change things, set up a skip meeting and explain to her manager about the habitual disregard, that you approached it with a solution but things haven't changed. That's that's an awesome way to handle that situation, quite honestly, because sometimes you'll never know if your manager is kind of in it for themselves, per se. We all know the managers that kind of are a little unprofessional, and they're managers, right? They're like a boss. They're not a leader. And there's two different distinguishes between a boss and a leader. A boss is basically telling you what to do, do X, Y, and Z, meet these metrics, and don't give you any feedback. A leader does the opposite. They're in the trenches with you, going through the day by day, figuring things out with you, sharing your wins, lifting lifting you up when you're put down, per se, when you're feeling discouraged. That's what a leader is. We need more of those in the world. Let's see what other people are saying. It sounds like all you can do is really just confirm the meetings are happening. If you can find a grateful way to point out that she sucks at she ducks a lot of meetings, point it out. I don't blame you for being offended her unprofessionalism at her unprofessionalism, but perhaps it's best to just shrug it off. Yeah, but then once again, that goes back into the burnout kind of tendencies. If you keep doing that over and over, the meaning of insanity is doing something over and over again. He's going to explode, and that's not a good look at all. Let's see what other stories we have here in this bowl. That one was a little spicy. This one's interesting. Ooh, long one. Hmm. If you feel like your work is increasing and you would like to request help from your supervisor since she isn't helping you perform duties for another program, and there is only two of you working for the company, would you request help and make it super important that you all work as a team? She told me a few weeks ago that 60% of her pay is going towards 60% of her pay is going towards other program, and that 70% of my pay is going towards this program. But you still help me though. I help her with her other program. Ooh, wow. So we're having a situation where it's not equal footing when it comes to work and balance. For the past two meetings, my director, supervisor, and I've heard that my director says, can you start updating two other spreadsheets monthly, calculating these rent stabilities for they're a case manager, all the clients' insurance certificates for them, sending out emails to landlords and clients in addition to, so basically he's doing mostly all the work, or they're doing mostly all the work. Supervisor provided some caps, no, it's personal there, some input, but I still went into the software and did all of their work. Wow, what people are saying about this. Store manager says, OP, I've seen your post a lot about this job, and your supervisor people have offer some advice, and either you're not taking it or it's just not working, I think at this point your best solution is to find something else. So this is like a reoccurring thing for this person that's posting here. So, once again, the meaning of insanity, man. Voss from Far Cry. You got to be careful. Got to be careful out here. Hopefully, he takes these words into consideration. What else do we have here? Okay, interesting. We have a generational kind of post here. I'm Gen X, worked globally, can navigate cultures and difficult personalities as well. I've run into Gen Z that has destroyed my confidence. How so? They're part helpful words without knowing the details. They have a list of people they refuse to work with. It's so negative, but they have influence and can steer to their favor. Mm. I made I've made their list of people won't work with. Ooh, they disrespect. The disrespect is huge. My health is suffering. I feel bullied and abused by this. I also feel trapped. Jobs are scarce. Yeah, whew, jobs are scarce. I wish it was like an uplift kind of thing instead of just heart, because I feel for this. Associate Attorney 1 says, what did you do to make the list? Ooh. If you truly believe you haven't done anything wrong, you need to report your concerns to HR before the Gen Zers does. Mm, he has a good point there. Every generation is foolish. Every generation is foolishly in their youth. This mentality dates back to the ancient times if you read classic stories. Unfortunately, firing is not the best medicine. Ooh. Yeah, I went through this. Not much one can do. Okay, let's see what this person says. Mr. Alan Hamilton. Just going to share some of my experience. Might not be related, but you might take something from it. I switched teams. The guy who was supposed to train me was too busy and didn't have the bandwidth to not only train me, but communicate with me at all. Wow, that's interesting. You got to do that, especially when you're the senior. Like I've trained like 6+ people in my past life, both senior and junior, in a sense, in the ways of talent acquisition. You need to have the right foundations to train, and you could do both. You just need the willpower, and of course, the bandwidth and time management is key. He didn't even want to answer simple questions. In turn, he ended up resenting me for being added weight. Wow. This is how, and this is pretty dark because this is how some people see themselves, and it's not good. I think he might have even complained about me to push me out. What do I do? I didn't react. I kept my head down, stayed quiet, barely communicated, found other sources to secretly consult for help. But I would give him a lot of praise and recognition publicly. Wow, that's even though he wasn't doing his job. Seal a deal with an in person team dinner where I just acted chill. Well, now I can tell he feels super bad for treating me this way, the way he did, and now he's overcompensating. Now that I have more credibility on this new team, I can slowly reveal my past mindsets, but I don't. I keep it blank. I keep it in the bank if I need it. Wow. Hopefully it doesn't really mess up with their mental health, but that's a when you're on a team, you're just like that. You're on a team, right? And you know how people say, "Oh, you're part of the family" and stuff like that. I'm going to be real with you, and in some aspects, you see your team in corporate or the work environment more than you see your own family in most cases. right? And you build that relationship with someone, and you want to make sure they're good, right? You all working towards one common goal when you're on the team, and the camaraderie and working together through difficult situations when it comes to the highs and lows when it comes to certain companies, it could be a great feeling, but it has to be the right team. And showcasing this from what Hamilton said about their situation and stuff is not, it's not good. You sit down, private meeting, and you just talk it out. You know, figure out what works, what doesn't, and you move forward. You was hired to do a job, and you was hired to make things better with your expertise. So do it and uplift the people around you. Life is way, 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 way too short to be, stressing about that type of stuff and making other people's lives miserable. It's not cool. Let's see if we could get a few more as well. Anyone have any good second career ideas? Because the burnout is real and I just don't have the foggiest idea of what to do next. This person is asking for advice on how to transition, I think. Burnout is so real. I think almost everyone's experiencing it these days. Yeah. A lot of creative directors I know pivot into roles like brand consulting, which is a good pivot, teaching design, or even UX strategy after they have had enough with the ad world. If you still want to be, if you still want creative freedom and less pressure, freelance can also be a good step. Try to resolve some of the imitate se- stressors so you can give yourself a little breathing room to figure out your next step. That's pretty good. They're with you. Yeah, transitioning and thinking about what's next. That's key. You always be thinking about that, especially in these times. I'm making this video in 2025, January 17th. It's, job market's tough. You got to be real creative and consistent when you're on the job hunt, right? There's no silver bullet, but there's a strategy and a foundation that you need to follow in order to keep going. It's like being a YouTube creator in some aspects when you're on the job hunt. So determination is key. That's a great question. I don't have any great ideas yet. Most of the second career options I'll daydream about aren't even realistic. Eliminating yourself like that's not good. I have been thinking about saving as much as I can and going back to school to learn something else completely, and I may have to get serious about working towards that. Sometimes extra schooling isn't really needed. That's like an extra debt to put on. You should just kind of sit down and think about all the skills that you have and what kind of value you could add to others with your current skills, right? Sometimes the option isn't more like education in terms of like going to school and having more debt. Sometimes it's just kind of pivoting your mind in a way where you could just think to yourself, what skills do I have? How could I add value to others that also fulfills me and them? Plain and simple. But it takes a bit for you to kind of think that way. You have to go through some tough times in order to kind of level up your thinking in some aspects. All right, let's do one more for this. One more. This one looks, oh, got some crying emojis here. Certified peer recovery specialist. I'm struggling really hard with my job and the company I work for. I'm underpaid and the clients I have are a lot. And sometimes, because of my department I'm in, some of the clients are safe around to some of the clients are safe people to be around. My mental health is declining again and I just wish I could work from home because my home life is becoming bad and I just want to spend time with my kids again. Oh, that one's a little bleak. I'm sorry to hear all that. I have been in a similar situation all these past years. Work is wearing me down, and my home life has been suffering because of it. Still looking for a new job. That's 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, it's a tough market, but trying to do what I can now until that time comes, hoping it gets easier and better for you soon. Same here. Not having a good job life and plus your home life is not doing good. It's unfortunate. I hope it works out for them. As you can see, there's a lot of people out there that's like burnout at jobs, especially in 2025. So it's always good to kind of take a step back and just think to yourself, is this really worth it? Do I need to take a step back and be with family and redirect what's important to me? Right. After my layoff, I had to do that. That first week, I went through all the stages and I said to myself, you know what? It's time. It's time to honestly level up other people. It fills that void, and makes you ready for the next opportunity that's ahead, whether if it's just in your business or with another company. So if you guys like these burnout bowls and other community sections where I talk about it, give my feedback on it, and make content around it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.